Today we're talking because we got an opinion. A lot of the internet's been, for some reason, arguing about whether or not Elden Ring should have a difficulty setting. I personally explain my thoughts in this video. So if you like what you see, make sure at the end that you like and subscribe. But most importantly, tell me your thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you guys later. So we were talking about Elden Ring, okay? And the big debate about Elden Ring is should there be a difficulty setting? I personally hold the opinion that no, not at all. Why should there be a difficulty setting when in the game mechanics itself, they allow you to become stronger? The game is designed in a way that if you can't beat a boss, you can walk away. You can go do something else. You can go get stronger, get a different weapon, maybe fight some smaller enemies to improve your skill. The game mechanics are built in such a way that if you are underpowered for an area, a boss, etc., you can go and raise your level, raise your gear, get a different weapon, right? Go farm and become stronger. Now, here's where it doesn't change for you, okay? The game itself is built to be as hard as it is. The only thing that truly changes is the skill. So the skill ceiling, or in my case, your ability to predict lag spikes, okay? Now that's that aside, for the people who don't have the technical difficulties of Elden Ring, the biggest complaint is that it's too hard. And I say good, that you are finally getting to play a game that you get to be challenged at. You are finally getting to play a game that will improve your skill as a gamer. Because it's not that the game mechanics are broken. It's not that the game is unfair. It's that
I'm not good enough to play it.
I think that is the most important distinction when it comes to Elden Ring. Because making Elden Ring easy, the only true way to do that is if you made the character stronger and the bosses weaker, so that the game mechanics, the timing of your dodges, the timing of your blocks, so you can't just spam dodge, you can't just spam sword. If you make it so that the character is stronger and the bosses are weaker, therefore all of those game mechanics no longer matter. And a person can get the same level of success and have the same claim, I beat Elden Ring. Did you? Like, did you beat Elden Ring though? I personally say you didn't. You didn't. Now, this is where I would argue where a lot of people would win the argument if they would say this.
Yeah, but I don't get enjoyment out of games when they're hard. I get enjoyment out of games by beating them.
And I'd say, well, fair enough. The follow-up to me for that is, like, what stands out to you in video games then? Like, tell me a video game that made a huge impression on you. And almost always, the game that makes the biggest impression is the game that gave the gamer the hardest difficulty that they could handle, and their reward was winning. And that is why it's their favorite game. Because their favorite game gave them the most satisfaction from beating. So if you just make it so you default everybody,
I just play on easy because it's easy.
You're stealing them from the reward of effort. You're stealing them from a victory like, ah, fuck you, boss. Like, do you know how good that feels to play a game and play the same boss for like a week and then you finally beat that boss? Like, if you have that mindset, nothing will make you like have more and you may be pissed. Fuck that boss. I can't believe how hard that boss was. But I promise you that energy is a place of joy, because the reason you kept playing is because you wanted to beat it. And the reason you wanted to beat it is because it mattered to beat it, because you would feel in your mind of minds that if you don't beat it, you were defeated by something that you had the capacity to overcome. Okay, now I know that's a lot of words. Now just kind of take it for a second. Take all these pieces, because I promise you they do fit together. So what have we essentially accomplished? We have given false importance to fake victories. Okay, we have essentially shown that a person deserves a win if something is deemed as too hard and then changed to cater to them. That is now what has been described as like a victory, right? And now I personally think, did you win, or was it simply made so you could win? Do you really win a race if all of the other competitors are forced to be slower than you are? Did you win? Rudy from that college with the football, Notre Dame. Was Rudy a quarterback? It's cruel and it's a great story, but was he a quarterback? Does he truly get to have the same claim to success as somebody who wasn't given an advantage over others? And again, this isn't for me to tell you. I personally, all I truly want from people is to have an understanding of why they have the opinion that they have. That's really what I want, because I love hearing other people's opinions. There's nothing that's more kind of boring than having a conversation with somebody that agrees with you. Yeah, I know that I'm awesome. Duh. Give me a little pushback. like I said all these things, and I know for a fact that there's a counter argument. So let's counter argue together, And it makes you grow, but also arguing both sides. Okay. This is not some universal rule and blanket that needs to be applied to everything, right? Just because I feel this way about Elden Ring, where I once used to play Call of Duty on lunatic mode, I now play on normal because I'm older and I just like it to be easier. But first-person shooters have historically always had difficulty modes. So there's kind of the difference, is we're getting to a point where things that always have been a certain way are being asked to change because the people that have never had anything to do with it in the first place don't like it. And that is absolutely nonsense to me. And it just, there can be new without destroying the old. It's really not a difficult concept, my friends. Different story. It might be wrong. Tell me differently. If after, say, 5 deaths, 10 deaths, it said, just like a good old-fashioned Spider-Man game, don't forget, you can turn down the difficulty at any time if it's too hard for your sweet little soul. So it comes on, makes you feel all good about yourself and how you don't suck at video games. And then I'm just kidding. It's not a matter of sucking or not sucking. It's truly just a matter of it's hard or it's not hard. And if it's hard, you simply, as a gamer, need to learn the mechanics to get good. And if that's not fun to you, just kind of, I guess, don't play games that you don't like I do. I'm not asking anybody to not do anything that I wouldn't do. I'm really just asking people to stop trying to change the world to fit their personal wants. That's really what it comes down to. My main point with Elden Ring, what made Elden Ring such a hot topic for me when people were talking about doing the difficulty slider, was what I just said. And now I can't remember what the fuck I said, but that was pretty much the whole point. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.